Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Today is the deadline for all New York healthcare workers to be vaccinated for COVID or risk losing their jobs. In anticipation, Governor Hochul to announce a contingency plan in the event of staffing shortages. Big Fox's Matt Kleindence joins us now and examines how local hospitals are reacting to this deadline.
Good evening, Lauren. As Governor Hochul weighs potential options to address staffing shortages at healthcare facilities, one local hospital system is reporting high compliance to the state's vaccine mandate.
What this says about Guthrie Clinic is that we place patients first.
In a video statement, Ed Sabani announced nearly all Guthrie employees were vaccinated. Today marked the deadline for all New York healthcare workers to get the COVID vaccine. With concerns about healthcare workers losing their jobs throughout the state, Guthrie's CEO announced near full compliance from his staff.
As of this morning, we're at almost 97% compliance with the employee vaccination program, and 100% of our physicians are compliant with that program.
Throughout the rest of the state, the vaccination rate of healthcare workers hovers above 80%. County health officials are worried that the state's mandate would exacerbate nursing shortages. Over the weekend, Governor Hochul announced a contingency plan to address any massive shortages at healthcare facilities. Some of those plans include calling in the National Guard, hiring out-of-state workers, and declaring a state of emergency. Sabani says his staff's compliance with the mandate highlights the mission of the hospital system.
It has been about patient-centeredness, teamwork, and taking care of each other.
Guthrie says those who did not meet the vaccine deadline will be suspended for a week. Matt Kleindence, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
Slowly but surely, new cases of COVID-19 have been dropping. Experts say we're not out of the woods just yet, but before the end of the year, we could see this latest surge finally subside. Britt Conway has a look at what health experts expect over the next couple of months.
Every morning I come in and go through every COVID patient, determine who's on ventilators. I have to report the deaths. Unfortunately, it's a daily event.
Hospitals all over the country are straining against COVID-19. Deaths are on the rise, even as new cases decline. But experts say don't let the case count fool you. Delta isn't done.
I'm not at all convinced that the Delta surge has peaked in the U.S., and I fully expect case counts to go up again across the country over the weeks and months to come.
This Delta wave is going to surge across the country and hit different regions at different times.
But once it plays out,
this may be the last major wave of infection. I think by Thanksgiving, you'll have seen this move its way through the country. The virus isn't going away, but prevalence levels will decline to a level that feels more manageable.
But what exactly does manageable mean? We were seeing a 7-day average of up to 160,000 cases a day at the peak of the surge. Right now, the CDC says that average is closer to 114,000 new cases a day. And Dr. Gottlieb expects will eventually drop down to about 20,000 cases a day. But getting there depends on more people getting vaccinated.
There's still a lot of pockets of vulnerability, and COVID's so contagious, it finds its way into those pockets of vulnerability.
I'm Britt Conway, reporting.
A fourth suspect has been arrested in connection to the Elmira torture and murder case. According to New York State Police, a 17-year-old male was taken into custody in McDonough, Georgia, on kidnapping, assault, and murder charges. Additional information on the suspect has not been made available. 3 adult suspects, including one from Horseheads, were previously charged with murder of Juan Jose Gotay back in January. To date, Chemung County officials have not disclosed a possible motive for the killing. Philadelphia City Council members and police are taking a stand after an anti-violence activist's home was firebombed. Matt Petrillo has more.
I saw the video. I saw them come up.
Security video shows the moments a ball of fire lights up this neighborhood here in Harrogate Wednesday morning.
I saw them pour the liquid on it and light it on fire. Yeah, my house was targeted.
Sonia Brigham isn't exactly sure why a suspected arsonist targeted her home, but she is a block captain who has been fighting against suspected drug dealing in her community for 2 years.
We're outraged.
Now, some members of Philadelphia City Council have come to Brigham's neighborhood to stand by her physically and in solidarity.
This is intolerable, and we want the mayor to be just as outraged that drug dealers will not take over these streets.
When we're in a neighborhood and we have people out there protecting our communities, working with the city to try to make it better, we know we have to protect them and we have to stand with them.
Brigham says she won't be intimidated by criminals.
They don't want the neighborhood to change and to become wonderful and to become a place of pride for the residents. But we're not going to stop.
The former Tops Plaza in Elmira is now under new ownership. According to the Chemung Industrial Development Agency, the property was purchased by Buffalo-based company Benderson Development for $800,000. The company indicates the building could be used as a medical, retail, or office space. The building used to be Tops Market before closing in 2018. It's a big week in Washington as Congress wrestles with 2 spending bills and a clock ticking before a possible federal shutdown. Lauren Blanchard has more from the nation's capital.
Lawmakers are gearing up for an eventful week as Democrats attempt to pass a pair of spending bills and avoid a government shutdown with little to no Republican support.
We have to get these bills on the floor. We have a vote coming up Thursday. The vote has to pass. It's critical.
The traditional infrastructure bill appears to have just enough Republicans for it to pass. The other, coming in at $3.5 trillion, is struggling with moderate Democrats and has no GOP on board.
I believe we'll get to an agreement. You know how these things are. You got to go back and forth a lot. We're working on every last detail.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi had to move a vote on the $1 trillion infrastructure bill to Thursday because progressives are wary to pass it without the larger bill ready to go.
It only takes 4 Democrats to say no to stop this. Inflation. It's caused by the spending. It's going to continue to spiral our economy out of control.
Democrats say the social spending bill will be paid for by raising the corporate tax rate and raising taxes on the wealthiest. 2 Democratic senators, Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, believe the price tag is too big. Speaker Pelosi has acknowledged the final bill will likely come down in size.
We're going to pay for everything we spend.
Lawmakers also have to deal with passing a government spending plan before Friday or else risk a government shutdown. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
The U.S. Supreme Court is deciding today which cases will be argued before the highest court in the land. Justices met behind closed doors to discuss the court's docket for their next term. Several petitions have accumulated over the summer. The court has already said it will look at a Second Amendment case concerning a New York concealed carry law in November, as well as a Mississippi case that is a direct challenge to abortion rights in December. The court's new term kicks off on October 4th. As the crisis at the southern border intensifies, we're learning that more than 10,000 Haitian refugees have been released into the U.S. pending immigration hearings. Jeff Paul has more from Del Rio, Texas.
This area underneath the International Bridge in Del Rio used to be a camp of thousands of Haitian migrants. It's been cleared out now, but Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas told Fox News Sunday the majority of Haitians who've crossed the border in recent weeks have been released. At least 12,000 are scheduled to have their cases heard by immigration judges. Mayorkas says he's confident the system will work.
It is our intention to remove them. That is what our policies are, and we deploy our enforcement resources according to certain priorities.
On the other side of the border, thousands of Haitian nationals who have already been deported are still waiting in Mexico. Most say they'll try to return to the U.S. because there are no jobs and no future for them back home.
I just want permission to work, to have a good life, to find work. I want to have a future too.
Meanwhile, the steady stream of migrants crossing into the U.S. is showing no signs of slowing down. Groups from Venezuela, Cuba, and Central America are coming in big numbers. And officials here in Texas say border agents are simply overwhelmed.
There's 19,000 agents, roughly half are focused on processing, and the other half are dealing with 200,000 apprehensions on a monthly basis.
DHS is also tracking several large caravans heading to the U.S., including one in southern Mexico with at least 20,000 people. In Del Rio, Texas, Jeff Paul, Fox News.
Gabby Petito's boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, is still nowhere to be found as search efforts enter another week. The FBI is planning to scale back its efforts at a Florida nature reserve. Jonathan Seri has more.
Authorities in Florida are now in their second week of searching a swampy nature preserve for Gabby Petito's boyfriend, Brian Laundrie. Northport police say the FBI is now leading the search. This week, authorities will scale back efforts and rely on intelligence to target certain areas. Rewards totaling $30,000 are being offered for information that helps law enforcement track down the 23-year-old.
When you put this type of reward money out there, information is going to come forward. This is about justice for Gabby and all victims of domestic violence.
Sunday morning, FBI agents visited the Laundrie's Northport home, requesting personal items belonging to Brian to help with DNA matching. Neighbors of the Petito family are urging Brian's parents to speak out if they know his whereabouts.
We're kind of waiting with bated breath, trying to figure out, whether this guy's alive or maybe he's left the country.
Meanwhile, hundreds of people gathered at a New York funeral home on Sunday to say goodbye to Gabby. The family used an empty urn for the memorial service as they wait for the FBI to release the 22-year-old's remains. Gabby's father says he wants people to be inspired by his daughter's life.
If there's a trip that you guys want to take it now. Do it now while you got the time. If there's a relationship that you're in that might not be the best thing for you, leave it now.
The Petito family is expected to speak publicly to reporters on Tuesday. In Northport, Florida, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
Still ahead tonight, a big week ahead as Pfizer says it plans to ask for authorization of its COVID-19 vaccine for children ages 5 to 11.
This is a vaccine for children, so getting the dose right in terms of both efficacy and side effects is crucial.
The latest on the vaccine timeline for kids and what has to happen before Pfizer gets the green light.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Good evening, everyone. We have a cold front that is on the move. It will arrive here by tonight into early tomorrow, and it did set off a few showers and thunderstorms up to the northern portions of the state. In our area, it did kick up a little bit of cloud cover, but we are expecting some rain tonight as well as early tomorrow morning. So some of these showers will work their way into the Twin Tiers in the next 24 hours. By Wednesday, we are expecting some sunshine to return and then a dry spell for the latter part of this week, which means that those temperatures will gradually warm up again. So for tomorrow, that cold front will be situated to our south. Drier air will start to move in behind it. And so we are expecting much cooler conditions for the middle of the week. In fact, temperatures will be about 5 degrees cooler than normal. So here's a look at your forecast for your Tuesday. It will be a cloudy day, temperatures around 60 degrees at 7 o'clock in the morning. We only warm up to around 64 degrees in the afternoon, but as that cold front comes in, it will push a little bit of rain our way as well, and these dew points will be dropping down into the 40s by the end of the day, an indication of that drier air that will be moving in. So for tonight, we are expecting a few spotty showers, and then around 7 o'clock in the morning, it looks like Hornell, Bath, Corning, and also portions just between Elmira and Watkins Glen, we could see a little bit of rain. This will start to push away, a few clouds remaining, and then in the evening, those clouds will start to clear away as well. And so we are expecting another shot of cool air coming in behind that cold front. It will be seasonably cool, but it is going to be dropping those temperatures. It's going to be a lot cooler by the middle of the week than what we have been experiencing in the last 24 hours. But then those temperatures will gradually warm up again. So here's a look look at your forecast. Tonight, diving down to around 59 degrees in Elmira, around 60 degrees in Corning. There will be a few showers by early tomorrow morning. Highs tomorrow, though, in the afternoon will be around 64 in Corning and 65 in Elmira. So we aren't expecting temperatures to really climb up during the day at all because of the rain and also the cloud cover, but we are expecting much cooler air to start to filter in as we head into the middle to latter part of the week. Notice those overnight lows will be diving down into the 40s, so we have several cold mornings on tap. By Thursday, it is going to be pretty chilly as our highs will only be around 59 degrees. But with a little bit more sunshine Friday into Saturday, we are expecting those temperatures to warm up a little bit. Upper 60s will be possible over the weekend. And then we have another cold front that will arrive early next week, and that will push those temperatures back down.
A big week ahead as Pfizer says it plans to ask for authorization for a COVID-19 vaccine for younger children. In today's Health Minutes, Mandy Gaither lays out the timeline for a vaccine for kids ages 5 to 11.
One step closer to better protection for children from COVID-19. In a matter of days, Pfizer CEO says the company plans to apply to the FDA for use of its vaccine in younger children.
If they approve it, we will be ready with our manufacturing to provide this new formulation of the vaccine.
For months, Pfizer has been testing 1/3 of the dose now given to adults and children ages 5 to 11. The company says this formulation is safe for that age group, but the FDA and CDC will have the final say.
As soon as they get submitted to the FDA, I know the FDA is urgently planning to review these data. It will go from the FDA to the CDC, and we will review it with similar urgency, and I'm hoping in the order of weeks.
Before a green light can be given for this vaccine in younger children, there's a lot of data to comb through. But one health expert says if Pfizer applies this week, a decision could come by the end of October.
This is a vaccine for children, so getting the dose right in terms of both efficacy and side effects is crucial.
Right now, Pfizer's vaccine is only approved for use in people 12 and older, but according to the American Academy of Pediatrics, more than a quarter of all COVID-19 cases reported nationwide are now in children, increasing the urgency to get kids protected.
I wouldn't be so cavalier about this virus. We know that this virus has long-term consequences in a lot of people who contract it, including children.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Ashley Smith knows what it's like to lose everything in a fire. That's why on Sunday, the California resident passed out 20,000 toys to children displaced by the Caldor fire. Aaron Heft has the story.
I'm trying not to cry.
Meet Brooklyn, Colin, and Graceland.
Our house burned down in Paraguay neighborhood.
Did you lose toys and stuff?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened. They're 3 of the hundreds of children who lost everything to the Caldor fire.
Hello.
Though that chapter ends today.
Hi! I heard you guys lost your dirt bikes that you guys worked really hard for. Do you guys want these ones?
Thousands of toys sprawled out across the yard of Pioneer Union Elementary School. Ashley Smith and her family to thank.
We've been doing this for about 14 years now.
Their family's home burning down twice as she grew up, and now Ashley's gifted over 3 million toys to kids just like her.
I understand what these kids are going through, and that's why we give them toys.
Founding the nonprofit, Ashley's Toy Closet, they travel to natural disasters, all to put smiles on these little faces.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
2 donated dirt bikes.
What do you tell everyone?
Thank you.
And gear. I don't know what's all in there. Take whatever fits you.
I need a knee pad for my bike. I always crash.
It all goes home with them today. This has to be so meaningful as a parent.
Oh, more than you know. I can't put it into words. I never thought this would happen.
You want to take a picture?
Ashley and her toy closet giving each family a kickstart to this new beginning.
You have fun with them, okay?
A dog named Stella is reunited with her owner in Denver after being lost and alone in the mountains for 5 days. Kelly Reinke has the story.
When she shows your belly, you have to rub it.
2-year-old Stella loves to be pet.
Oh, yes.
But these rubs are an extra treat for her and her owner, Curtis Culver.
I have my dog back, and that is so huge. Yeah, that was Sunday, actually. That was a few hours before everything started.
Last Monday, Culver and his brother called for help when the weather got bad during a backpacking trip in Grand County.
It was about a little after 6:30 when we finally heard them yell the first time. And we, as soon as we heard them yell, we sat up and screamed back, and we're here, over here.
Relief quickly turned to panic. When the search and rescue team got to them, Stella got scared and ran away.
The hardest thing not to think about was, the fact that, what if she dies out there? What if it's just too cold?
And it's real important to them that, they close missions out completely. And this was just an open end that nobody wanted to leave open. So, the thought was that we would go up there and give it our best shot.
Volunteers with Search and Rescue went back to the campground Saturday, hiking 14 miles to find Stella.
She wasn't too far from their camp, maybe a couple of 100 yards from where Cody and Curtis had camped.
I got that text, and I dropped everything and ran into my house screaming that they got her.
A second chance to hold his dog after she survived 5 days alone in the woods.
I love her. I mean, if I could take her everywhere I go, I would, honestly.
For now, she's earned the extra rubs and longer naps.
As many as she wants. And a GPS tracking collar, which I'm getting for her.
People who bought DiGiorno crispy pan crust pepperoni pizza might not have gotten what they thought they did. Nestle is recalling about 28,000 pans of those frozen pies because some of those boxes actually contain the company's 3-meat pizza. That's a problem due to the fact that those pizzas contain soy protein, which is a common allergen. The incorrectly identified pizzas were sold across the country. They have expiration dates of March 2022. Most golfers spend their entire lives trying to sink a hole in one. But Jake Martinez checked it off his bucket list twice in one game at the age of 11. Bailey O'Carroll has the story.
We were shocked, of course.
11-year-old Jake Martinez competed this past weekend at the Palm Springs Open. It's a U.S. kids tournament. Just a few holes in, and he hits a drive he'll never forget.
On number 5, it was a par 3, 95 yards. I decided to hit a pitching wedge. It takes a couple hops, and it just drops in the hole.
Great.
Rick Martinez is Jake's dad. He served as Jake's caddy throughout the tournament, giving him a front row seat to the accomplishment.
The first one he hit was a no-doubter, is what I call it. It was never off the pin.
Jake's family was at the tournament but left before the back nine, thinking that they had seen all the excitement the day had to offer. That ended up being a big mistake once Jake reached hole 12.
The second one he hit was pretty much a carbon copy, almost the same yardage. It was the same club and followed the same path.
A second hole-in-one. It's so rare, the chances are 1 in 67 million, according to the National Hole-in-One Registry.
First one I was happy about it, and the second one I was just like, okay.
Jake didn't win the tournament, but he of course still had a reason to celebrate, and it's safe to say he went big.
Let's just say I had a lot of Shirley Temples.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. Fast, but not necessarily furious, is how you could describe this pup's world record-breaking sprint around the bases at Dodger Stadium in LA. Macho's Mad Diamond Dash clocked in at 21.06 seconds. That officially made the Russell Terrier the fastest ever to run the bases at a major league stadium. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.